Hello, Barendipitous here with another video about another chapter, another day, another chapter, another video for Battle Pass Season 9. So let's get right into it, shall we? So here we are. We'll go ahead. So I do like how the reveal kind of like pops up in the middle of the chapter to kind of like show you how it's relevant to the story. We'll go ahead and kind of have this out now, basically. If I can, oh dear. Well, I guess we're. I guess we're watching an ad about Little Caesars or something. Okay, here we go. Now it's back. Excellent. Oh, and I just realized I had it on speakers instead of headphones. So yeah.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sandstorm here with another video.
Talking.
Today, I will be showing off my reveal for Brawlhalla's new Battle Pass 9.
I love that it's Fenrir Mordex.
For the past couple of days, other Brawlhalla partners have been showing off their cool items like maps and taunts. Yeah. And today, I'm going to be showing off a pretty rad skin.
Yeah, it's a Flying Dutchman.
Are you ready?
There.
Alright, here we go.
And we have Ashen Warmonger Roland, Glorious Conquest, and Emperor's Claim. And I see the sidekick back there too. Warhorse sidekick. And yeah, some gameplay as usual. Oh, he's fighting against other members of the OEL, Jala and Diana. And there's the avatar right there. So, really cool. Fantastic
So there it is,
skin.
Ashen Warmonger Roland. Personally, I think it is the coolest Roland skin that they have ever come out with. Shoutouts to Brawlhalla for letting me reveal this skin, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the new Battle Pass. Also, let me know what you guys think of the skin down below. If you guys would like to see the rest of the reveals, check the description down below and visit brawlhalla.com/battlepass.
Battle Pass. There we go. Excellent. Fabulous. Okay. So, yeah, so that's the reveal. Ashen Warmonger Roland. And let's just get into this chapter, shall we? So we've got the Emperor, and I did, just like reveals on a weekday. I have read this before, but I'm really excited to read this out loud this time. So here we go. The dark iron gates shut behind me with a definitive clang. There was no backing out now. We begin to walk through a dark passageway, barely lit with the low light from flickering torches. Every time I stumble, the guards push me ahead, rapping at the back of my heels with their scabbards to quicken my pace. I steel my resolve. This was hardly the peaceful encounter I had imagined, but the Wanderer was right about one thing. Like it or not, I was being marched into a direct encounter with the Emperor. Before I can take in the sights of Fort Havershant, a sudden blinding light shines in my eyes as I step out from the tunnel. The sounds of loud, excited crowds chattering greet me before my eyes focus. Footsteps patter on the cobblestone, and horses whinny as their carriages roll through the streets. The rich smell of glazed roasts and freshly baked bread wafts through the air. But the people here are much more of a spectacle to behold. Pockmarked with boils and scars, they shamble along excitedly. Some bore extra limbs, wings, tails, horns, cursed and scarred by years of the rain, yet their spirits unyielding. I have never seen such joyous people. What sort of haven have these people made here? A small crowd of people are beginning to form in a circle around the tunnel entrance that the guards and I emerge from. They point at me through excited whispers, but avert their eyes as if I am not there at all. Standing tall above them, in the heart of the city, is a massive, polished marble statue of an imposing bearded man mounted on a rearing steed with a mane of fire. His musculature and facial features have been chiseled with meticulous precision, probably under the purview of a certain emperor. Admittedly, it's a masterful portrait. The sweeping cape has been molded in a way that draws the eye towards his menacing, blank stare, an unbroken stare that told of the unspoken. His word, law. His power, unlimited. His control, unyielding. Clear the way, common citizens of our glorious city. Let this man serve as a warning against wrongdoing. In violation of the law of our emperor, he will be punished for striking one of our own. Yes, yes, clear the way, everyone. You all know the whole routine now. Just move along, please. We push past the throngs of people as we reach an impossibly tall black gate. Heaving and puffing under their breaths at the effort, the guards grunt as they pull open the doors. Two more emerge from the crowd to wave the crowd away. Behind me, I can hear jeers and laughter. The door is shut, and the guards and I once again stand before an impossibly tall staircase. We are boxed in by stone walls decorated with intricate murals carved with artistic mastery, also probably under the purview of a certain emperor. I take it that this is also designed to be some sort of penance, a final ascent for the criminal on their death row. No, the emperor just wanted to build his palace on the peak of the mountain the city rests on. A really tall staircase was just kind of necessary. The peak of the Ikrusk Mountains is the only place befitting the dwelling of our emperor. Indeed, you should be honored to even meet such a powerful man. We begin the climb without further discussion. The chiseled, stony-faced stares of the murals glare at me as if looking at an insect. I stared back down at the stairs. Though the steps are carved much less deliberately, I found myself outpacing the guards who had begun to lag behind me after the first 15 minutes. I turn around and find myself alone. Somewhere much farther down, behind me, I can hear the voices of the guards calling out to me in exasperation. "Evildoer! Criminal! Do not think you can escape your judgment! No one escapes the purview of our emperor!" It's also like a one-way tunnel. I get trying to be petty and make us look bad by just bouncing up the stairs like some kind of mountain goat. But you can just slow down. Usually criminals are screaming and thrashing. I've never seen anyone have such enthusiasm while going up these steps. I can wait at the top for you both if you like. We will not be shamed. We are the honorable flaming god. Jim, I get it. We all get it. You're dedicated. Dial it back a bit, okay? Yes, we would appreciate it if you did that, Vagrant. Thank you. I shrugged my shoulders as best I could manage with my arms bound behind me. While the ropes had been skillfully tied, I had long ago realized I could easily snap free of them. I think it's best to play along. I don't want the guards to get in trouble for the Wanderer's idea of an unconventional audience. I continue upwards, and before long I stand before a short hallway. Two braziers with bright, crackling flames stand tall at each side of a dark iron door. As I wait for the guards to catch up, I ruminate on my impending confrontation with the Emperor. Per the Wanderer, he was no easy man to negotiate with. Decidedly confident, likely arrogant. Every word he spoke, he desired to be law. Arguing for the continued survival of the world in order to take possession of one piece of the crest? Perhaps for the rational man this would be a fine argument, but for someone who thought the world was his vassal, no, nothing reasonable would work. Then again, I had the same thought process on the other flight of stairs. Perhaps the Wanderer had exaggerated. It wasn't beyond him. Surely the Emperor was a rational man, considering he had managed to maintain a sprawling empire and a thriving capital. The guards huff and puff up the stairs some half an hour after I had reached the top. Sweat beads across their brow as they both grasp my forearm and push me towards the door at the end of the hallway. Can you imagine walking upstairs for half an hour? My gosh. I get tired after 1 minute. That's insane. Let's just get this over with. I don't look forward to going all the way back down. My knees are already killing me as it is. And I'm not even the one lined up for punishment. The guards give one last heave as they force the doors open. I am greeted by the sight of a throne room with soaring ceilings painted with a detailed depiction of the same blank-staring man standing with his sword held to the sky. Though it had been painted with meticulous detail, I was beginning to tire of seeing his visage on every surface of this city. Windows seemed to have been etched directly into the stone, their trims literally whittled from the mountain. The floors were of a polished, dark marble that shines so cleanly, that they reflected the mural on the ceiling. Armored soldiers stand on guard in 2 rows facing one another, along a dark blue carpet on either side of me. The hands are tightly clasped around the hilts of their sheathed blades. An unassuming broom and an unemptied dustpan of ash leaned against the wall. It was a curiously mundane oddity relative to the grandeur it was surrounded by, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure this broom and dustpan are not really referenced again in the chapter. Slight spoilers here. Probably because it's just a portent of the fact that, this, flaming emperor, this warmongering emperor can reduce people to ash if he wants to, and that was probably like the previous criminal or something like that. This is such a cool throne room. By far the most distinct feature of this throne room was the open-air wall that overlooked the rest of the peaks of the Icarus Mountains and the bleeding skies of the ravaged lands. Yeah, that's quite a view. Oh my gosh. Because I imagine like an actual throne room with walls and a ceiling, but then the last wall in the end is just, there is no wall. It's just open to the mountain. That's crazy. A crudely hewn pathway jutted from the floor out from the side of the mountain with 2 giant stone hands seeming to hold it aloft from the mountain. At the end of that pathway was a broken circle of stone, delicately balancing behind an imposing stone throne. And on that throne was the Emperor. The guards push me to my knees as the Emperor clears his throat to speak. And this is the reveal. Oh, he looks so good. Do you know why you are here, branded one? I'm afraid this has been quite a large misunderstanding. That was a rhetorical question. Listen to the crowd roaring in the distance. You can feel the tension in the air, the expectation. They know what's coming. Judgment, punishment, entertainment. That's why you're here. Do not speak out of line. Choose your next words carefully. You'll ruin the drama otherwise. I am here to plead my case. It was never my intention to... Oh, we have an uncivilized man. Or perhaps you meant to spit in my face when you are at my mercy. I will be addressed with respect. I am the infernal emperor of all things, God King Immortal. There is no man in this world who does not know of me and my feats. I have warred for this throne 1,000 times, and I have brought glory to the remnants of your people 1,000 more. I command every person in this room. I command every person in this city. They all bow to me. My words, the law. My ideals, the future. I will not be disrespected. Listen clearly. You may make your case, but you will first address me as Your Royal Highness. Then you may address me as Emperor. I have no choice but to cooperate. Your Royal Highness, I sincerely apologize. Very good. Now speak. Make it worth my time. The crime was a pretense, Emperor. It was, truthfully, a plot concocted by an acquaintance. I could not afford to delay by requesting a formal audience. I believe I can accomplish something for you that will ensure the survival of your kingdom and all the people you rule over. My task concerns something you have in your possession. With that, I believe that I can once again restore the mercy and favor of the gods upon this land. I love this. Let me tell you something. I have learned never to trust those branded with emblems. That thing you have in front of your despicable face. I am willing to bet you don't even know where it comes from. Blind, the lot of you acolytes. You feverishly dogmatic types are always the most difficult to deal with. Too stiff to change, too set in your ways, insisting your path to be the only one worth treading. Even as the apocalypse rides in upon the horizon, beating its war drums. Look behind me. Look at it! In the distance, I can see the edges of the Icarus Mountains that had been leveled to dust. Fires roaring and scraping at the sky with their ceaseless flames burn through the deep scars in the earth. The skies are stained an eerily bright red that's dotted with dark clouds. The apocalypse manifests as a maelstrom that never sleeps, endlessly reshaping and consuming the land around it with a torrent of ash that scattered acidic rains in even the safe lands. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Somewhere it was raining. And all those graced by that rain would feel their skin burn from the tears of the damned betrayer, the embodiment of the sins of the betrayer levied onto the people of this world. How the wind rages as the earth crumbles to ash and disease and as the earth crumbles to ash and disease and hunger takes your people. What do? Your type just pleads for forgiveness, withdraws, and self-destructs. You have no idea how to live in a changed world. All you know is delusional yearning for an existence that has long since ceased. What benevolent gods would have let this cataclysm shatter your world if they had favored it in the first place? Your gods have abandoned you long ago. You plead only for empty blessings. Dust. You cannot restore the favor of those false gods to this land. I am the new lord of this perished earth, the rightful heir of all that remains. While you pleaded to deities that spared not a second, I conquered the world. This land and its people have become my charge. My duty lies with them alone. I have given them haven despite perdition, sanctum despite damnation. They needed a savior. I am that savior. No one can stand against my power. No one can match my conviction. You think some wayward nothing boy with childish dreams like you can do what I cannot? I live to seek the truth, divinely ordained or not. I do not know if God look upon me now, if they are guiding my journey, or if this journey has been one wholly of my own volition. It is true that I know nothing of the nature of this emblem that brands me, but I am the only one of my village who dared question the stories of the past, of the nature of the apocalypse. We have been closed off to the world at large. Passing missionaries of the Wings of Mercy and merchants have been our only source of news, but they never spoke of you or your feats. Are you truly the Messiah you claim to be? But you know of my gods, dear Emperor. I dare say that you still try to live up to their power, since you hold their divine artifacts so closely to you. The apocalypse still rages. Perhaps with my help, my faith, I may be able to end the storm, if not reverse it. Ugh. You. Enough. We are finished here. You are finished here. You don't even know the true nature of the crest. Sorry, I skipped it. Guards, bring it to me. It is time to bestow judgment. The guards who ferried me to the Emperor seem to have already been standing at the ready. Delicately and with great care, they present a bundle of rich sapphire velvet to the Emperor. With a clawed hand, the Emperor flicks off the top layers of the fabric to reveal a gleaming band of a crystal circlet. It's breathtaking. It seems to shine with some sort of iridescent quality as it refracts the light into scattered flecks of rainbow. As he takes it into his hands, the light bends and shines, breathing with some otherworldly, uncanny life of its own. It seemed all the more fragile in the Emperor's hands. Something about its dazzling radiance stirs a feeling deep within me, familiar yet incomprehensible. I hardly have the time to admire it before I process that the Emperor is approaching me. Man, I always hate this part. Were the ordinary man to bear the crest with his bare hands, he would be reduced to a fine ash. This is the nature of the blessing of your gods. Long have I wielded this divine power as my own. None beside me have been able to withstand it as I do. This is the great spectacle of Fort Havershant. I am the infernal emperor, god king immortal of all. By my divine will and decree, you have been found unworthy of my presence. You have no place in my world. Farewell, boy. Your life was not one well lived. And with those final words, he places the crest upon my head. And that's the end of the chapter. We're left with the cliffhanger there. So, you know what it's time for? It's time for some theorizing. Okay, so, Ashen Warmonger Roland. I talked before about how the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in the book of Revelations in the Bible, like the biblical four horsemen of the apocalypse, represent death, pestilence, famine, and war. And so we know that we're pretty sure that Reno is pestilence, right? And it seems pretty obvious that that Emperor Roland is war, right? I and other people have noticed that the chapters that start with the something are probably the chapters where a new character or skin is revealed, because we have the Wanderer, where we learned of Reno, right? The Emperors, where we were introduced to Ashen Warmonger Roland, and then we have over here we have the Starved One, which does sound like it's probably related to famine. And then over here we have the Hallowed War, but that doesn't sound like a person per se, but I'm guessing death to the savior. The only one left after pestilence, war, and famine is death. So I think the other skin is probably going to be here, chapter 11, maybe. I don't know, but so yeah. So it sounds like famine is here. Sir Roland would be war, Reno would be pestilence, and death would be something else or something, right? And also ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Those are like part of classic funeral rites, so that's also related to death as well. So such are my thoughts there. It's very interesting that the residents of Fort Havershant, they're very mutated. The description was like extra limbs, the horns, wings, and that kind of thing. That would definitely explain, characters like Reno with, extra arms and wings and things like that, basically being mutated and changed by the apocalypse, essentially. So there is that. Let's see. What else? It is interesting that the Emperor Roland is so boisterous and everything. I'm sure lots of people have heard of him, but clearly there are some villages in the outskirts that have not. I imagine that the Emperor Roland is certainly a very proud and arrogant character, but he probably doesn't have as much power in the apocalypse as he pretends to be. But he does have one of the crests, though, so there is that. That is rather significant. What do I think is going to happen to Wu Shang? I mean, I don't think he's going to be burnt. I don't think he's going to crumble into ash. I don't think he's going to be reduced to ashes, because there was that eye symbol that was sort of glowing at the very end, right? That closed eye symbol. The Wushang progression skin has 3 emblems. Currently, we've been seeing the first one, the level 1 emblem. I think this is probably going to be the point where we see level 2, the closed eye with the teardrop. That's probably going to happen when the crest is placed on his head or something like that. By the way, can I just say, I called it. I called it that Sir Roland was going to be the Emperor because of Fort Havershant, right? And Roland is the only one who's associated with the name Havershant in the official lore. And so yeah, in the chapter 4 video, I predicted it would be Sir Roland, and I was correct. Sometimes it pays to know the finer details of the lore because it sometimes allows you to make good predictions like that. So there you go. I'm feeling very proud of that one. So yeah. Anything else? I'm predicting that Jala might be one of the skins, just because Ikrusk Mountains. The only times in Brawlhalla, in official Brawlhalla lore where we hear about Ikrusk is Jala's lore, and there's one time in Nyx's lore where it talks about Belzar, which is Belzar is the Ikruski god of death and volcanoes, and Belzar is also the deity, like. The gauntlets that Cross has, they're called the gauntlets of Belzar. So Belzar is some kind of like god of the Ikruski pantheon or something. And and considering that the Ikrusk Mountains are here, I'm guessing there's probably going to be some connection to either Belzar or Jala or both. Maybe Jala is the betrayer, perhaps. After all, in the official Brawlhalla lore, Jala is the first exalted lion, right? So, Jala is like a very powerful, like survivalist warrior kind of thing. Maybe Jala will end up being the famine skin. I imagine she's either the betrayer or the one associated with famine. Who knows? But those are my thoughts. Those are my theories right now. And I look forward to checking out the reveal tomorrow. Chapter 6, Imperial Accord. So maybe the rest of this journey here is, Emperor Roland telling Wushang to go do things or whatever. And then it looks like tomorrow's reveal is going to be by Momokins. So very excited to see what Momokins has to show us, as well as, of course, what the next chapter is going to show us here. So that's all I've got here. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed. And I hope you. I'm so grateful for all of you who are enjoying this journey along with me. Goodness knows I'm enjoying reading these chapters with my own voices and stuff. For Reno and Sir Roland are such fun characters to have voices for, essentially. So and I feel like I do a decent job. I usually do like older and like older and like imperious characters a bit better. Older male imperious characters. So right up my alley there. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, all the best.